Hi everybody, welcome back to Slone Stitches. If you're new here, my name is Jess and this is my channel about cross stitching. There are quite a few of you who are new here, I think thanks to my WIT parade that I posted earlier this month. If that's you, welcome. I'm so glad you decided to stick around and give me a chance with a regular Flosstube episode. I have to apologize right off the bat. I think I am coming down with some kind of cold sinus, but probably a cold situation. I knew it. You go to these retreats in the winter and you're just bound to catch something. So I'm trying to fight it off. There's been a lot of vitamin C and other things happening in my house last night and early this morning. So we'll see, but I might lose my voice at some point during this video. My husband even offered to stay home in the morning and record with me and just say what I wanted to say, which would have been hilarious actually. And I probably should have let him do it just for the bit, but here we are. So if you are a returning viewer, you know how this is going to work. I have all of my normal updates. I have a Stitch Away recap from the retreat that I was at this past weekend, which was so much fun. We're going to get into that first. And then also yesterday was my 1-year Flosstube anniversary. So I posted my very first Flosstube episode on January 19th, 2025. So it's been a crazy year. So I'll talk a little bit more about that later on. And I will have a couple of fun giveaways to celebrate the anniversary of the channel. But first, let's just jump straight into a Stitch Away recap. Stitch Away is a retreat that is sponsored by Keepsakes, which is our local needle workshop here in Cincinnati, Ohio, where I live. It's hosted every January at Houston Woods Lodge, which is a state park about an hour-ish northwest of Cincinnati. It's beautiful. I will insert some pictures here as I talk. We had just a little bit of like snow globe snow while I was there. It's a whole week. It's always the week before Martin Luther King weekends, Monday through Saturday. You leave on Sunday, but it's a la carte. So you pick the days that you want to attend. And this year I attended Friday and Saturday, stayed Friday and Saturday nights, and just had the best time. I think next year I will go on Thursday and stay through the rest of the weekend. Just because I just always enjoy it. It's very relaxing. If you've ever been to StitchCon and you know the craziness of that retreat, this is completely different. It's the complete opposite. It is relaxing and low key, and I just love it. And the lodge is beautiful, so that doesn't hurt. So I will preface by saying that if you are interested in attending Stitch Away, which I've seen a lot of comments on Keepsakes content this past week of people wondering, what is this? How do I get into this? It is more difficult to get into because unlike their other events, they do give priority registration to those who have attended in years prior. So I've tried to go several years in a row, finally got in last year, and obviously kept it going and will keep it going next year. So it opens to re-registration for us in April, and then I believe sometime in May, early May, I think is what they said, they will open registration to newbies. So keep an eye on Keepsakes social media if you're interested in attending. Okay, so this was the 25th year of Stitch Away, which is crazy. Keepsakes has been open for, I believe, 28 years, and they've been doing this retreat for 25 of those years, which is fantastic. What a run. And they always have a guest designer. It's different every year, but the rest of the weekend is so low-key. And it's very enjoyable. And you might hear a little bit of an argument between two cats in the background here in a second. Ignore that. So I sat at a table this year with my friend Michelle from my stitching group and my friends Amity and Aaron from Hathaway Stitchers and my friends Rebecca and Courtney. And then at the table next to us, which was kind of an extension of our table, there was Sarah from Millennial Fabrics. Sarah Engineer the Craft was at that table. Tasha, Britches Get Stitches. Let's see, Beth, Rose, Rosalita, Tamara. There were a bunch of people all around us, but that was the other table. I saw so many people that I haven't seen since StitchCon or last Stitch Away, or even beyond that. I met new friends that I've talked to on the internet, but had never met in person. It was just a great weekend. Just so laid back, so relaxing, so many laughs. My stomach muscles hurt on Friday night from laughing so hard. And then Saturday, we stayed up way past when the stitching room was supposed to close. We moved out by the fireplace. The maintenance guy, the overnight maintenance guy, his name was Pete. He let us stay out there as long as we wanted. We ordered pizza at like 12:30 in the morning. It was just a lot of fun. And I can't wait to go back next year. So like I said, the fun twist is always that there is a guest designer. And this year, there were two. So the first guest designer that we learned about was Gigi from the Artsy Housewife, which made my day when I found out that it was her for sure, because we had guesses. We knew it was her for sure by the time I got there on Friday. She and her husband Boone were so kind, so easy to talk to. I showed them my study in nature. I'll pop a picture in here if you forget what that looks like, that I'm doing on the printed Rorschach test fabric from the Digistitchery. And I was kind of nervous to do that because it is very different looking than the model and a different idea and take on that pattern, but they both loved it, which was a relief. I mean, I love it, so that's really what matters, but there's a special kind of excitement when the designer of the pattern looks at it and their jaw drops and they say, that is so cool. So thank you to them for being such awesome people. And then we found out that there was actually a sneaky second designer who had her own patterns for the retreat, but also collaborated with Gigi on the main retreat piece. And that was my friend Amity from Boomerang Stitches. And I tell you what, her and Aaron were masters of deception. I kind of started to suspect it just because of, she was protesting, but everyone was asking her. And I know she was so worried that people were going to be mad, but she had to keep it a secret, and they were really good at it. I mean, they made up some good stories to keep everyone on their toes. It was so funny. And I will show all of the materials that we got from this collab, and they are so good. They're so good. So I'm going to get right into that. The first thing that I knew going in was that Amity had designed the front of the tote bag for this year. You always get a gift when you get there. They give them to you at the check-in counter for the lodge. And this year it was this tote bag, which is a great size. Very nice canvas material, sturdy straps, and then Amity's beautiful cardinal design on the front. Just gorgeous. Love this. I'm not a bird person. I do make exceptions for cardinals because they remind me of my mom. So I love this. Then open up my bag of goodies here. There's quite a bit. We'll run through these very quickly because I want to use most of my time to talk about stitching. We got a surprise gift Friday night. You always get like a little something on the Friday. This is a big little something. Cardinal Lodge from Boomerang Stitches. So the design on the front of the bag is also a cross stitch pattern. So very, very cool to have that. And then she signed it for me, and I won't show that because it's very funny and very us, but probably not appropriate for the video. But it's funny. It's very cute. I love it. And I will show this again here in just a little bit because I did start it sitting there. Even though I only had one of the colors, I wanted to start it there with Amity, so I did. Then I will show really quickly just some table mate gifts. One is the bag that I have Cardinal Lodge in. This was made by my friend Rebecca, who has a bag making company called Prancer's Poinsettia. She has had a trunk show at StitchCon, and she's going to have one at StitchCon this coming year as well. And she also has an Etsy, and I'll link her Instagram below so you can go check her out. Got a cute little logo in there. And then, let's see, other table gifts. I have so much stuff in here. Okay. So my friend Michelle from Stitching Group made everyone these cute little scissor fobs, little snowman. Everyone's was different. You got to pick which one you wanted. Look at him. He's so cute. Very cute. Love that. Thank you, Michelle. Courtney had a pack of really cute stickers. I won't show all of them. A couple of them my son already took and put on his water bottle, which is what I expected. But I'll just show really quick. I grabbed a couple of cute little cats. And this is funny because it says my brain has too many tabs open. 4 of them are frozen and I have no idea where the music is coming from. Me, constantly. So those are very cute. And then she also had scissors that you could pick. Cute little stork scissors, the classic. And I love green, so I was very happy to get a pair that was green. And then Amity and Aaron had, first of all, little pigeons. They're magnetic, so we had them stuck everywhere around the table. Not a bird person, but this is cute. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. And then everyone at the retreat, they gave this cute little cardinal, which of course I love. And they also gave everyone at the table a pack of Amity's stickers that she designed and a cute little Mill kit called not Winter Holiday, Cozy Cabin, because the lodge looks like a cabin. It's an A-frame. And it's little, and so there's not a ton of colors. So theoretically, I will be able to separate that floss and not have a horrible time like I did with the last Mill Hill I attempted to do. These are very distinctive, and I like that it won't be as frustrating. Love that. Let's see. And then I also, when I got there, I had some floss drops and little cards from Lady Huzzah Presents, which I believe is a Flosstube channel. So I didn't get to really interact with her, but they were on my spot when I got there. So thank you to her. Then let's show you the exclusives before I go into a quick overview of my haul. So Saturday night is when you do the main presentation and they reveal the design for the retreat. Well, there were 3, technically 4 designs at the retreat for this year, which was very exciting. So we got a goodie bag here. These are exclusives. I do not know. Usually keepsakes, if they have extras, will put them up for sale on their website because these are a keepsakes exclusive for, I think, a year. Don't quote me on that. So these are not readily available right now. The first one is Amity's piece from Boomerang Stitches. This is Mercantile Mates. And this is inspired by a pair of, I'm going to get this wrong, peregrine falcons. You know me and birds. That could be wrong. But Ohio did a program to rehabilitate the species and bring them back from being endangered. And there were a nesting pair that lived on the Mercantile Library building in downtown Cincinnati. So Amity took inspiration from that and created Mercantile Mates. I'm going to take this out of the plastic so it's not as glary. And she designed 2 ways that you could stitch it, daytime and nighttime. So it's got the cute little mating pair there with their egg. And then like this is the Mercantile building and our museum center and the Great American Building, just Cincinnati landmarks. in our river because we are a river town. So that's really cool. And then Gigi's part of the collab was the nature aspect of it because it's her style. And so she did a lot of research into native Ohio plant life and wildlife. And she came up with this pattern called Resplendent Tableau, which is very pretty. Very, very pretty. I like the border. It's so pretty. Of course, her border is gorgeous. She talked a lot. Someone asked about her borders. She talked about where she gets inspiration for them. It's just very interesting. And then I did have her sign it for me, which she was so kind to do. And then they sent their pieces to Barbara, and she squished them together, and she created the main retreat piece, which is called City Roots. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? I mean, I know I'm not a bird person, but I have to stitch this because of who it's from and also just because of how it represents where I'm from. I love it. And then, as always, Barbara and Keepsakes are so generous. We got a pack that has all of the floss. So this is enough to stitch the main combined piece. And then obviously the colors are called for in the other ones as well. And then we also got the fabric that the combined piece is called for. This is Needle Bling Designs Lightning. And I got 36 count. So just a very nice classic gray color. Grayish silver. Amazing. Very generous. Super excited to have these projects. I am absolutely going to stitch the combo piece. And honestly, I will probably do the other ones as well. I want to do the nighttime version of Amity's because I feel like Cincinnati is very underrated in terms of its beauty as an architectural city. And there's nothing I like better than our skyline lit up at night. So I'll probably work on that one too. Trying to keep all this together. Okay. And then just some goodies. So I bought from the annex this bag. It has all my other stuff in it. How pretty this is. This is from a company called Two Old Lady Bags, which is really funny. But I thought this was beautiful. I love when people incorporate green into the fall/Halloween things. So I loved this. I had to buy it. I know I went in saying I was going to be very intentional. I intentionally purchased fabric and patterns. It's the fabric that really got me in trouble. I grabbed a few things off the freebie table too, but I'm not going to show those. Those will just come up as I work on them or whatever. A couple of them I might use for giveaways. But we won't bore you with everything that I brought home. This here. Not lose track of anything. Okay, so for patterns, I bought 3, which is not bad. I bought a small bouquet from the Artsy Housewife. I bought this mostly because I was going to have her sign it, but then I decided to have her sign the retreat exclusive instead. I got a blue flower that I had not actually seen before. It's from 2018. It's called Life with Cats Best Bed. And they had the whole series of these, but I got this one because my cat Augie, who you'll see in my new logo if you were paying attention, he has a box on the floor of our living room that's been there for like a year and 3 months, and we can't get rid of it because it's his bed. It's just a box. There's nothing in it. So I had to get that because that reminds me of him. And then I got this from the Mindful Needle. This is called Trouble Brewing. So cute. And it comes with the little bat buttons. I bought that. The fabric is what got me. So I bought 2 pieces of Atomic Ranch. One I will show you in my starts because I started Cardinal Lodge on it. The other is this piece of 36 count linen in the color Service, which is like kind of like almost like a military green, like a very dirty greenish brown. Love that. I bought a piece of XG Designs. This is 36 count linen in the color Elixir. Talk about dirty green. Obsessed with that. That is screaming for something really cool and Halloweenish. And then I bought 2 pieces of Millennial fabrics because I adore Sarah and I am so happy I got to spend so much time with her. She makes me laugh and I can't wait to go to her retreat in late July. It's going to be so much fun. This is a piece of 36 count linen in a color called New Growth. Green was like my theme. I must be looking forward to spring because all I wanted was green. And then not a green fabric is a Millennial Fabrics 36 count linen in the color Bourbon. And these are all fat quarters. So love all of those. And that's it. That's all I bought. Not too bad. It could have been worse. I also ordered the Millennial Fabrics mystery box that she's got pre-orders going in for right now because I got a sneak peek. And if your interests align with my interests, you might want to go order that box. Okay? Okay. Let's move into the stitching. We're 22 minutes into this. It's time for some stitching. I think I want to start with whips. I have whips, I have 2 new starts, and I have 3 finishes. We're getting places, people. We're getting places. So I've been doing my year of the wheel. So we're spinning. If it's not a whip go or a stitch go, we're spinning a wheel, and it's been a lot of fun. The first one that I've worked on since my whip parade, so all of my this is where it was pictures will be from the whip parade. So if you didn't watch that, you'll get to see it anyway. This is my flowers from Boomerang Stitches. This is a piece I started last summer at StitchCon. I bought the fabric at StitchCon. It's Millennial Fabrics. It's River Rock. It's an 18 count Aida. I kitted it up in my own conversion of Romy's Creations and Almond M&M's silks that I got at StitchCon. It's in a bag that my friend Krista made that she was selling at StitchCon. There's a theme here. So, my flowers. This is where it was the last time you saw it. And I put in a whole nother flower and part of another flower. So this is over 50% complete. Get it to where you can see it. It looks so good. I love the variegation in the flosses that have variegation, and I'm not fussy cutting it. So like where it kind of looks like it's perfectly placed, that's just an accident. That's just some fate for you. So I think there are 7 flowers total in this. Yes, so I have 4 of the 7 done and part of a stem. So when these projects come up on my whip wheel, I'm working on them for 2 stitching sessions, which I kind of consider a stitching session to be a whole day, unless I have another project that I'm working on, and then it just depends. But my wheel, my rules, I'm just glad everything is getting touched. I don't want anything to linger. The next project that I worked on was actually a stitch go goal, and there's not going to be a lot of progress that you can see. This is Bath Time from Heaven and Earth Designs. It's artwork by Lisa Parker. This is where it was when you saw it in the whip parade, and I'm only going to show you one small portion of it right now because it's where I worked. I owed it 200 stitches because it was my stitch go number 2. So I take the numbers Jessie Marie calls for whip go, And I have a secondary whip go board where the numbers correspond to hundreds of stitches. So the number 2 meant this needed 200 stitches for the month. And I put all of those 200 stitches in right here. And as I was stitching it, I kind of forgot what the piece looked like. I mean, I've been working on this for over 3 years now. And I realized as I was going through, wondering what all this purple was, it's the towel that's hanging off of the wash tub. So nice to work with a different color palette for a little bit here. This page goes over, I think, to about here. And then we'll go back up to the top and we'll be working more in the windows again, but that's okay. Nice to at least get that started. I also had an oopsie and spilled something on my fabric. You can see it. You can definitely see it. That's okay because it's full coverage and I'm gonna frame it right up to the edge. But obviously I can't wash it out currently because it would wash out the grid lines. And I really, really need those. This gridded fabric is a lifesaver, at least for me, when it comes to big full coverage like this. And this is 25 count, easy count lugana, and I'm doing it 1/1. The next thing that my whip wheel spun up was Medicine and Poison from the Witchy Stitcher. I was so happy when this got spun, and the fact that it got spun on a weekend, so I had a ton of extra time to work on it. This is something I started last August on this 28 count linen. It's the color Fall from BeStitchMe. It's gorgeous. This is where it was in my whip parade. Try and fold it so that we have weird light right now. That ought to work. Maybe. Maybe. Yeah. Here's where it is now. So I finished up Poison and I put is in. I did a lot of like fiddly little bits and came down and started working on the cabinet. Got the bottle of Poison in, worked all down in here. Thank goodness I was able to get this in Pattern Keeper. There are so many color changes in places like this, and the symbols kind of look the same, and the colors kind of look the same. So I'm really glad. I had to do the legacy import in Pattern Keeper in order to get it to work. And I'm really glad it did. I'll show you back here. You can see the full piece of fabric and how that's going to look. Oh, I love it. One of my current favorite projects. My friend Marissa, who is Kissa Creations, I believe, has this in the works now as well. And her fabric choice is like the polar opposite of mine, and it looks so good. If you're not following her, you should definitely go check her out and see what she's doing because it's beautiful. I'm gonna write down that I want to do. Next, I spun up 4 Seasons, which is my piece from the Cross Stitch for the Earth book from Emma Congdon, Stitchrovia. And I was very excited that this came up again because I didn't really get a lot done on the winter, as you'll see from my picture from my whip parade. I mean, I made it across to the edge of the piece, but I really wanted to get a little more of it done this winter. So what I'm doing with this piece is I am stitching on it. I started each section in the season that it corresponded with on the first day of that season. And as it comes up again, I will stitch that more in that season. You get it. This is on an 18 count aida. I don't know. It's like a whitish pinkish, but it's perfect because there's some negative space. And here's where I am. So got all this fill-in done. Got the bunny. He's negative space, if you can see that. Finished the tree. Started working on this. Basically just started working my way down. But I love the negative space bunny. He's so cute. So I highly doubt my whip wheel will get completed and restarted before spring starts. And the next time I pull out this piece, I should be working back in the spring section. Although really I needed to wait until summer because that's the one I definitely have the least amount of progress on. And that's because the first day of summer happened at StitchCon. So I like pulled it out, put all that in really quick, and then got distracted by something shiny and moved on to other things. So that is my 4 seasons. The next whip I worked on was Rest a While. This is from Plum Street Samplers. I'm doing this on a 32 count piece of Lugana in Murmur from Picture This Plus. So the last time I showed it to you, I had part of the fox in, but not his tail and none of the little vase that he's sitting in. So I decided I wanted to definitely get the tail outlined because I feel like I could take this to a retreat and fill in on the tail. And I really wanted to focus on the vase. So that is what I did. This is so much work. Plum Street has a reputation for having way more stitches than you think it's going to have, being bigger than you think it's going to be, because they always have the little half-size patterns and they look so simple, and then you get involved in them and you're like, oh, this is like a beast. I'm not even done with it. So 2 days work was outlining this tail and working on this vase. But it was worth it because I feel like I'm in the home stretch once I finish this vase, even though I know like all this repeats over on this side pretty much, most of it. Still, once I get the vase done and get the tail filled in, I feel like I will have smooth sailing ahead of me and not such dense stitching. But it was fun. It was fun to see it come together. And I have one more whip to show you, and that is the piece I had to finish at Stitchrovia. Spoiler alert. This is the piece I worked on after my finish and then kept working on Sunday when I got home. And this is the Moonlight sampler from Blue Flower. I am stitching this on a piece of 20 count aida in Nantucket Prim from Vintage Needle Arts. It is a very different color than the model is stitched on, which is like a dusky purple. So I've had to make some color changes. So this is where it was when you saw it last time. And here it is now. It's so close to done. And the letters stitch up super fast. I want to call your attention to a few things. So I originally, last time you saw it, had this, wow, this flower stitched in like a tannish color that was called for. I pulled that out because you couldn't see it, and I replaced it with this pink that is elsewhere in the border. And then these letters stitch up very fast, so that's not going to be a problem. I really want to call your attention to this chunky beaver. I posted it on my Instagram story, and I said I really want to talk about this chunk of a beaver. And Janine from the Blue Flower messaged me, and she was like, he is a chunk for sure. I said, I love him so much. Thank you for him. So I did those flowers. I finished, well, I didn't finish, but I put in more of the border here. All these letters got put in, and all 3 of those animals. I did make a couple of color changes. The tan of the sloth, I picked a slightly different or darker shade so it wouldn't blend in, and same with the outline of the bat. Oh yeah, this is one of my favorite projects from one of my favorite designers, and I think it's definitely going to get finished this year. It's on my whip-go board twice. So between that and my regular whip wheel rotation, I have high hopes. And if we get toward the end of the year and it's not looking like it's going to get done because of those things, then I'll probably just decide to work on it and finish it up anyway. Okay, I have 2 new starts. The first one I need to go grab really quick because I left it in the living room. Hold, please. Okay, so this is the Wizard from Artist Design. This was an exclusive to the Stitch Pluto retreat last year, which was like a D&D meets cross-stitch retreat. My friend Eli from Thick Threads attended that, and he contacted me because he said, I know your son is starting up with D&D and he's in a club. What's his character? Would you like to stitch one of these patterns for him? So I said, he's a wizard. And he said, well, you can just have this. And he sent it to me, which was so kind. So I did do a color conversion on this. I'm stitching it on a fantastic piece of either 36 or 40 count. Can't really tell. Mystery Even Weave. It's from a BeStitchMe grab bag. And I'm doing my own flock conversion. So just really quickly, I will run through. This is Forbidden Fiber Co. Tortoise. Forbidden Fiber Co. Nevermore. Forbidden Fiber Co. Oyster. Just like random flosses that I've gotten in giveaways or grab bags or whatever. This is called for. Forbidden Fiber Co. The Child. Forbidden Fiber Co. Squash Blossoms. These are a mess. I'm not even sorry about it. BeStitchMe Pumpkin. And Fangirl Fibers Not the Rat. So all of that has combined. And here's where he is. He looks crazy right now. Can you even with this fabric? I have a hanging thread. You're going to have to overlook it when the car line's ready to go. It's ready to go. I'm going to turn this into a dice bag for him. He got several sets of dice for Christmas, and he has one dice bag and one like dice box and then a tube. But I figured this would be cute as a dice bag. He's almost 12, so he's still at an age where he thinks things like this from his mom are cool. You might always, you never know. So this will look better once this is filled, which will be my task later today in the car line. Hopefully I'll be able to get that finished and I can move on to wings and things like that. This will not take the whole semester like the wolf that I did for my last car line project did. So, which is good because I have some secret stitching that I really need to devote some time to, and I'll probably make that my car line project, but we'll see. And then the last start I had was Cardinal Lodge from Boomerang Stitches. This guy. This is on another fabric that I purchased from the annex at Stitchaway. This is a 36 count lugana in Desert Night from Atomic Ranch. This fabric feels like pajama pants. It's so nice. And this is I shouldn't even show it, but I did start it and I want proof that I started it. Right there. There's his beak. So I haven't even pulled the colors yet for the rest of him, but I will. Be cute. It's a cute little beak. Fine. It's fine. Once I get going on him, I'll have him stitched up in no time. Somebody was sitting there, Danielle, I think, and she just almost had it all cranked out, just sitting there at the retreat, which makes sense. It's not that big, and it's super fun. Okay. I have 3 finishes to show you. If you are new, do not get used to this. They don't happen in bunches like this usually, but I do have 3. I'm going to start with one that I finished in December. This is Santa's Night Tree from Hello from Liz Matthews. And I started this on December 12th, 2024. So it took a little over a year to get it done. The margin is not the greatest, but I think I can still finish it. And I actually think I have some confidence in my skills that I might finish it into the tree. We'll see. We'll see. This is on a piece of 32 count lugana in Azure from Zweigart. And here's my finish. Not ironed yet or anything, but Oh, I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. I used the provided DMC. I think it was a conversion because I think she charted it in maybe some silks or something like that. So the plaid is no joke if you ever do this. It does go into Pattern Keeper. Highly recommend to keep track of the plaid. I do not really like stitching houses, but I do think they turned out really good. And then, of course, I love Santa and his reindeer. The pattern didn't have the lead attached between the two rows of reindeer. So I did kind of fussy, like I manipulated that to make it connect because I thought they would all be connected to each other. So I did change that, but that was my only change. And then my next finish was actually a start and finish. This is Thunderstorm Nature Walk by Sprouting Lupine. Mine is not going to look like this because I only did this part. I'm going to finish it into a very little small and put it with the stuff that we have out on display for my mom because she loved frogs. This is on a piece of, I believe, 32 count mystery lugana from a BeStitchMe grab bag. I did stitch this with one strand on the 32 count, which I think the coverage looks fine. Maybe not as full as some people would like, but I think he's cute. And there he is. He's just a little guy. Just a grumpy little frog. He is definitely a mood. My mom would approve. She would love him. So I am going to keep this pattern and I am going to most likely stitch the whole thing someday. But I had to get this guy done. And we'll get him finished somehow. Then my last finish is a finish that I did at Stitchrovia. This is Monster Wonder Whale from Owl Forest Embroidery. I am using the DMC conversion. I started this on March 28th, 2024. So it was, a while for the size of the pieces. That's okay. This is on a 16 count aida in platinum from Zweigart. There is a stain in the corner. We're going to just stain the rest of it to make it make sense. So I did this with the DMC threads, not the Owl Forest floss. And I think he looks great. He needs ironed, but he's been shoved in and out of project bags for almost 2 years. So anybody would look a little wrinkled. I love him. I need to pick out another Owl Forest to do. I have several. And then since I made my last purchase from them a couple of years ago, I guess, they've released so many more that I love. So I would like to get another one of theirs started this year to replace this one because they are a lot of fun to work on. I will tell you, I was so distracted and the way the pattern is set up, it didn't all go into Pattern Keeper. So I was switching back and forth. I stitched this ship 3.5 times at Stitchrovia because I kept getting lost and thinking it was this ship. So I did that and then I drove all that out and I had it down to, it was a whole thing, but we fixed it and it's beautiful and it's upside down. Remember, I don't feel very good. Mercy, please. I am glad to have that one done. Anytime I can finish something that was started more than a year ago, I definitely get a little rush of excitement more than any other finish. Okay, the only other thing that I have to show you, and then we will get into some anniversary giveaway goodness, is I ordered a pack of mystery mini, so like a mystery grab bag. I did 18 count aida from a company called Oblong Meow. It's a small business. And I saw someone post it on their story, and I really liked what the company was about and their views on things. And I thought, well, this is very reasonably priced. I want to try their stuff, so I'll get one of these. So I got the pack that is 4 pieces of 9 by 14. And I'll just show you those really fast. This is parchment. Beautiful color. Just the right amount of modeling on that one. This one's amazing. This is called That's Hot. Camera is not doing this justice. This is pink, pink. This is The Mist. And then this is my favorite, and I want to use this for at least a couple of the Cross Stitch the Rainbow releases that are coming up for market, because it's under the sea, and the Cottage Garden thread pack will work perfectly on this. This is the tag. Mermaid Lagoon. Yes, this is Mermaid Lagoon. I have a cat coming. Can you imagine like a couple of those pieces on this? I've had a sneak peek of one and it's amazing. Hi. Scout sitting on my other fabric. We're going to allow that. Honey. Okay, well, Scout's going to help with the giveaways. So like I said, yesterday was my 1-year anniversary on Flosstube, which is so exciting. I could not have made it this far without support from a lot of people, and you know who you are, and then from everyone who's watched. When I started, I thought like maybe a handful of people will watch this, and maybe the channel will grow a little bit, and by next year, you know, maybe I'll have a few hundred people that care about what I'm doing. And that is not what happened. There are way more of you than I expected, and I am very thankful to every one of you. So I want to do a couple of giveaways. So the first one, speaking of market, is going to be open to US only. The next one will be anybody, but this is US only. This is Happiness is Homemade, last year's market cookbook. So if you're not familiar, Nashville Needlework Market always has a cookbook. So I don't want to show patterns. Does anyone have like a in here? People, please. So like this is like a shepherd's bush pattern that I'm covering up. So they're all smalls, and then there's recipes here. So like just open up to a random one. Hands-on Design has a little sampler Noelle in here. And then she also sent in a recipe for her tortilla quiche bake. So it's just full of things like that. These are all of the contributors. It's a lot. I have one of these already. So a very kind viewer, when she was sending me something else, also included this and said, if you don't have it, keep it. If you do have it, give it away. So I saved it because I was thinking with market coming up with around the anniversary of the channel, it would be a good giveaway. So I'm going to give this away. Rules. You have to be 18 or older and live in the United States. I have to ask you for your address. You cannot say keywords for robots and scammers like giveaway, contest, winner, entry, things like that. And you need to be a subscriber, because this is a thank you to everyone who has been so lovely in the history of this channel. So in your comment, please use the keyword market, and you will be entered to win the cookbook. Then the next one is, I've done this before, it worked really well, a $20 gift card to Lindy Stitch's website. This is open to anyone in the world. All I will need is for you to send me an email or a DM on Instagram if you're the winner with your email address, and I can shoot that right on over to you. So the keyword for that giveaway is Flosstube. One word, Flosstube. So good luck to everyone. I will draw the winners for these 2 giveaways the night before I film next, which would be February 3rd. So I will draw the names on Monday, February 2nd. So good luck to everyone. I hope you win. I don't really have any plans except we're going to keep spinning the whip wheel. I have one whip go goal left for January. Ragnarok is my number 7. So I am currently working on that. I did not bring it in to show because I'll just wait until my next video and show you the overall progress. I worked on it yesterday and I'll work on it today. I have started gathering floss to plan out a start on Little Acorns, the modern folk embroidery style for 2026. I'm hoping to start that for my birthday in April, so that's very exciting. And then I think I mentioned earlier, I have some secret stitching coming up that I'm very excited about, but that is something that I will not be able to reveal until later in the year, toward the end of the year. That's it. Not too lengthy today. My throat would argue otherwise. I'm really hoping that it's just like sinus stuff, but I don't know. There were some hackers in that retreat, so you never know. We'll see what happens. But I will see you all in 2 weeks. I hope you have lots of time to stitch and do the other things that you love, and I'll catch up with you in February. Bye, y'all.